because we have used same index value as I for us in here also. This is the problem why we are getting in. Now we all know that there are a lot of things we can do. We can use indexing and we can use list traversing also. So we can just simply go through what we can do. Another thing I will show that. Suppose while I am going to use while condition, while n in L1, while n in L1, while n in L1 means suppose n is the 1, if 1 is present in L1, L1 is the same list duplicate. If 1 is present in L1, the loop will be executed. Now we will get the position. Position is equal to L1 dot index. L1 dot index. Index of what? Index of n. Means what will be happen? Here n is an element called as 1. L is a list. Index means here in L1 list, it takes an element 1 and search the index. Now it finds the index at the position 0. Now so it will get the position is equal to 0. Now I'm going to just pop the element L1 dot pop that position. Simply it's the pop the position. Again while loop will be repeated because n is again present in the L1. It will goes to check the index. Now then another index was after removing this, the indexes will be changed. This is the 2 is 0, this is the 1, this is the 2, this is the 2. So after that it again get the position as a 2 and removes that element. Now we just run this program and check the answer. See here 1 is removed from the list. Is it clear, students? There are a lot of techniques in the programming. Actually this is a programming logic. This will be how do you get this logic means while doing more on practice on programmings, you will get the more logics how to make such differences. You can do different things by I always follows list because list is the most powerful concepts in this Python. Only one list has one specialty. Using the list you can develop any kind of data set in the you can using list you can develop the tuple concept, you can develop sets concept, you can develop the dictionaries also. So I always go with the list only for advanced programming. Anything I use a list, but you will see some advanced concepts in which is better than list also in future. Is this problem is clear, Ajay?
Yes, it is clear. Thank you, Ishwar.
If anyone want more logics, just I will suggest you a few platforms at the ending of this session. Please go through those platforms and practice more sums. You will get an idea. Okay, Ajay, I will stop the sharing from here. You start the today's session.
Okay. Thank you, Ishwar. Okay, guys, one more thing before we start. Don't directly message me. Please put your message on the chat box to everyone so that our coordinators can see and respond to your messages. So please put your messages to everyone. Okay. So we can start today's session. Today we will be discussing on functions and scope of the functions and different types of functions that we used for day to day. And we have given some examples of the functions. So let's get into it. First of all, what is a function? A function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. Means a function is a block of statements that are predefined and used regularly when we want to use a block of statements. We place the block of statements in a function and we reuse the function whenever we need. The function carries parameters and it has a return value. And moreover, we declare Python in a error. Sorry. Moreover, we use def keyword to define a function. Okay. And one more thing, there is no return type in functions, as you have come across in C. There may be return types for functions in C, but in Python we don't have any return types. So this is the example of function. Let me demonstrate you. As I have previously told you, a function starts with a keyword and then we will follow with function name. For example, we take function. Let's take fun as function name, and we use indentation. This represents the block of the statement that belongs to the function fun. Okay. Now we write the statements that are present in the function. And now, as we come across the end of the function, we come from the indentation and write as
Ajay, could you please check your internet connection?
Yeah, some people are saying that their screen is not sharing.
My screen is not sharing. Just a minute.
It is visible to us, but make sure once again to check again.
Is it visible now?
Guys, is it visible now? Yes, Ajay, you can carry on now.
Oh, okay. Thank you. As I have previously told you, this is the block of statements that come under the function called funof. And these are the statements that belong to the main program. And now if you want to call a function, we just represent as funof. See, okay, let's run this. See, first, initially the main program is be executed, which is printf not function. This line will be executed. Whenever we call a function, the block of statements in the function will be executed. Okay. This is how a function works, and function may also have a return type. For example, if you want to return a value in a function, we use the keyword called return and represent a number. While calling a function, we just print the return value from the function. Let's execute the code. See, as I have written 0, the function prints the value 0. If I return 10, the function prints the value, the function prints the value 10. Okay. And this is the demo of a function. Yeah, this is it. And next we have scope of, and this is the main topic in functions, as we try to declare variables inside the function and outside the function. So we should know what is the scope of the variable that we are using in a function. So you have already heard about the scope, which means the availability of the variable for a particular period of code or particular lines of code is called as scope. There are two types of scope, global variable and local variable. See, global variables are used as if the scope of the variable is global, or if the variable has a scope of entire program, then it is called as global variable. If the variable has a scope of only particular block of elements, then it is called as local variable. See, I hope you get the definition. Let's put it to practical use. Let me quickly demonstrate you a function. See, let's create a function. See, scope. I will declare a local variable called a is equal to n. Okay. As it is declared inside a function, it is called as a local variable. Let me just it is a local variable. Now, if you want to print the local variable, we just use print. But when we come out of the function, just we have to call the function. And if you come out of the function, when we try to print the variable, which is a local variable of the function, we get an error. Let's execute the program. See, it is showing an error that it can't take. The scope of the variable A is defined to this particular block only.
Ajay, the function name was a scope.
Okay, let's change. Okay. Let's execute again.
Ajay, you call the function as a fun and you are creating the name as a function.
Okay. Sorry, guys. See, while we're printing a local variable A, it is printed as 10. But when we try to access the local variable as a global outside the function, then we get an error that A is not defined. For example, that's the main use of local variable. Let's take another example. If you take A is equal to 100.
Ajay, your voice is breaking.
Is it audible now?
It is audible, but it's
while
breaking.
the audio, your voice is getting breakdowns.
Okay, I'll try to take it slow.
Yeah, that will be fine then.
Okay. Now we try to manipulate the value of a local variable as my screen is visible, guys.
Yes. You carry on.
Yeah, okay. Let's see another example. I have declared a global variable as A is equal to 100. Someone says screen is not sharing. Guys, my screen is sharing. Please check your connection. And see, I have declared a global variable A is equal to 100. And I have reinitialized the local variable A in the local section as A is equal to 10. So print 10 and print A, the output would be. See, actually, I haven't called the function. So we can't get the output. Let's execute the code. See, 10 and 100. We can't, while we print the variable A again, we don't get the value 10 as it is initialized only in the local section of the program. So try to make sure that globally and use the local variables in the section as well. Okay, the scope of the local variables and global variables is this. And coming to the next topic, and this is the various type of arguments that we come across while dealing with functions. First of all, we come across normal arguments, and let me quickly demonstrate you. For example, let's take a function argument. Let's take a function fun one, and we try to declare arguments like A, B, C.
1 minute, Ajay.
Yeah.
They are saying screen is not sharing and voice is. Can you please check your internet stability?
I think most of the guys' screens are. I mean, most of the people are visible. I think. Are you facing the same issue?
Screen is
Your
sharing,
audio.
but voice is breaking. Hello, Ajay.
Yeah.
Um, okay, can I take if you have no problem, I will take this session from here.
Is it not audible for me?
Yeah, your
Or
voice is getting
Voice
very
is breaking a little bit, Ajay. So there are
okay.
chat box.
If
Okay.
you have no problem, I will continue this session.
Okay. Continue, Vishwa.
Okay.
Thank you.
Guys, we have already heard about the thing function. Let me explain one more time. What is function? Actually, function is a piece of code or a group of statements. Wherever you want in the code, you can just insert those functions and you can make the your program as efficient. How? I will show you. I will tell you an example. Suppose you want to build a room for your house. For those room, you need an architecture. I will just zoom my screen. Is it visible, guys?
Yes, yes.
Suppose you want to build a room in your house. What you need for the room? You need a plan. After plan, you will start constructing the room. For a plan, what you will do? You will try to build a plan. If you want to create another room, what you will do? You will again plan the room. You will make an again architecture to plan. For whenever you require the same room, you again and again trying to write the plan. I mean, you are again and again you're trying to build your plan. Instead of doing such a times, you just simply create one plan and take the blueprint, and whenever you want to create the same type of room, you just use the blueprint. In similar way, when you want to write a program, if you want a particular piece of code is repeating more number of times, then it is not necessary to write again the code. You just create the function. Whenever you want that code, you just call those function. Suppose I will show you. Creating a function, we use the diff keyword. Suppose diff function print hello. uh, in generally, the function does not require a return type. Return type is an optional in Python. If you want to place return type, you can place, otherwise it's not needed. Suppose this is my program. Hi Ram. After the hi Ram, I want to say him hello by printing the statement. So what I will do, just write a statement called print hello. Instead of writing print hello, I will just call as a function. Now let me check. See here, hi Ram, hello. Suppose if you want to say him more number of hellos, you just make a call this function again and again. See here, you can say multiple hellos, but I have used only single line of code. If you have some 10,000 or 10,000 lines of codes, then you will get to know about the use of this function. Instead of writing it this 1,000 lines again and again, you just simply call this function. Here it seems to be just print hello, or you can say that we can write this print hello only single line, it's no problem. But when you have the code up to 1,000 or 10,000 lines, you cannot you cannot sit just sitting and writing the 1,000 lines code again and again. In that situations, we can use this function concept. We can make it simple. And I will show you another one. Suppose now we are going to discuss a written topic also. Now I am creating a function. It has some written type. What should the program should be have to return? Now I am considering a variable, some number. Int input. I'm taking a number and I'm going to check whether the given number is a odd or even. Then what should I do? I just pass this value into a function. It's simple. Now I will check that the number has a code. If a modulo 2 is equals to 0, what should it return? It return odd. Not odd, it's even. Else return odd. See here, the function in this program, we are taking an input called integer and we are passing that integer into the function. After this passing this function value, we are going to check an if condition. If a modulo 2 is equal to 0, then it is an even. Else, otherwise it is an odd. Here we are not printing, just returning a value. So we are going to print this value. We are getting just a value and we are going to print that value. See here. Now the program is asking enter an input. So we are giving a number 35. See here, 35 is an odd number. This is the way. Whenever you want to check a number is a, suppose we have some 1,000 to 1,000 lines of code. There will be multiple situation. You have to check whether the given number is a prime or odd or something else. Whenever you want to check the program, we just call those functions. Call those functions. It will be simple. This is the way how functions will work. Okay. Now see here. Now after completing of the topic function, we are moving into the topic called scope of the variables. Here, what is the scope? You see that function is a piece of code which is separate from the original code. Actually, this is the code until the code is executed, but until we have not called this function, the function code is not executed. Whenever you call this function, then only the function code will be gets to be executed. Is until now the code is kept to be same. So inside the function, the scope will be different. What is the scope? You get doubt. I will show that. See here. Scope means inside and outside. What is inside, what is outside? While we are discussing the topic function. So what is the scope inside the function? What is the scope outside the function? Let me check. Here a is equal to 10. Now I am going to print a. See here, a value will be 10 throughout the program. Wherever you go throughout the program, a value will be same. This is called scope. But when you go to a function, this is a function. Here a is equal to 11. print A. See here, in the function we have a value 11. Here in the outside the function we have a value. This is the difference you can see. Here the scope of the A is 11. Here the scope of the A is 10, because here the scope is local outside the function. Here the scope is local inside the function. Let me check. I'm going to call the function. Just running. See here, we are printing local scope outside the function A value as a 10, and we are calling the function and local scope of A value as 11 inside the function. See here, you clearly see that A is two things, but it is different in the function and outside the function. Some may think that you have called already A value first the function, that's why A value is not changed. Let me show you. I am calling the first function. After the function, I am printing A value. See, what will be happen means, first A is equal to 10. After that, we are calling a function. Now, what will be happen? Function going to be start and executed. Now, A value is equal to 11. Now, A value is changed. Printing A value. So, we get 10. But see, after changing the value in the function, outside value is not changed. You will get again 10 here. I'm going to execute this LC. See, inside the function, you have changed the value is 11. But outside the, after running the function, we have print the A value as again 10. Inside the scope is not changed the outside the scope. This is the scope. Now, we will see what is global variable and what is local variable. Until now, I have explained clearly local only, local scope. This is called local variables. If you want to create a global variable, you should go with the global function. You have to define the as a global variable. Suppose global A is equal to 10. I am going to create the global variable. Now I am creating a function. Define function A is equal to 11, print A. After that, I'm calling the function and I'm printing the function, printing the value A. Now let's see what will be happen. We got invalid syntax. See here what will be happen here. Global A. Now global A is equal to 10. I think we should clear it. See here, when we consider a variable global throughout the program, wherever you go, I have created here a value 10 and I have not passed any value inside the function. See here, I have not passed any value inside the function, but it printing the value 10. This is the use of value called global. Global can have the scope throughout the program, wherever you go, without passing or this is the use. I have not passed any value inside the function, but it changes the value of A. This is the use of global. I saw that before the few minutes back, but we got some outputs also, because why means after consideration of global A, it will also considering this cell program values also in here. That's the problem. In previous output, we see different types of outputs. Let me remove this global in a function and let me check again. See here, once you consider the value global outside, it is not necessary to declare again in the value in function. You can just directly print the value. Here the scope of the global A, without passing the value inside the function, you can again see the value as the A. This is the scope global and this is the scope of local. Local scope. This is global scope. I think you got my this. Next one. This is the topic scope of the variables. Now coming to here, types of functions. What is types of functions? Here generally there is we can do two things. One, we cannot pass the values. Other thing, we can pass the values. Without passing values, we saw it as a scope of the variables. But when we pass the arguments, there are two types. What type of arguments can be passed? And we can see that we can pass two types of arguments. One is args and is k-args. Where args means you can pass the values as a list, arguments, and it can contains multiple arguments. But the argument should be as a specified. Where in k-args it will receive the argument values as a dictionaries. And remaining now we can see a few more concepts in how this functionally works. Let me see. Suppose I'm going to define a I'm going to check the args. What is this star args? We will check that. I'm defining 1 minute guys, I'm getting some disturbance here. Okay, let me define a function. I am giving as a star kids. Star kids is a star arguments. Now let me see. Print kid of 2. I'm going to pass this function values as Ram, Suraj, Bobby. I'm passing three variables as an arguments. We can pass any number of arguments in any number of arguments to the list, not list, any number of arguments to the function. Here in star args, it consider as a list. See here, I have passed three arguments: Ram, Srujan, Suraj, Bobby. Here it consider it as in a list called kids. Now I'm going to access this kid as a list. I'm going to print the index 2. In kids, 0th index, first index, this is second index. So output should be Bobby. I'm going to run this cell. See here, what is happened here? We passed any number of arguments, but it consider it as a list when you keep 1 star. Suppose we are going to see another thing called star args. What will be happen? It will consider it is both is it is also similar to this kind of topic. You can also pass any number of arguments, but here it consider it as dictionary. Okay, you will get that. Here when you pass the same program, I will take the same code. See here, I'm going to give it as a 2 stars and I'm going to pass arguments. before you passing the arguments, you have to check your function type. You have given the function with the 2 stars. I mean, I have to pass the values which are similar to the argument, arguments means it's like to be dictionary values. Such type I have to give as Ram, and I think I have to give as Ram Kid. Kid is equal to Ram
Guys, am I audible now?
It's audible, Ajay.
Yeah, Ishwar, can I take it from here?
Okay.
Sorry for the delay, guys. And thank you, Ishwar, for explaining about star arcs. Now we'll discuss about keyword arguments. My voice is good, right?
Yeah, it's good, Ajay. Please keep it on.
Ajay, once see the chat box also, so you can see the keywords they have.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Now we can discuss about keywords. As we have completed discussing about star arcs, now we can discuss about keyword arguments.
Pruthik, can you please explain the star? Everyone is asking regarding that.
Star arcs?
Yes,
Okay.
star.
See, for example, if we have a function like fun1, and we have multiple arguments, and we don't know what arguments that our function requires. So let's assume star as the number of arguments and then declare a variable. Let's say var. And then if you print the variable, we get a list of inputs or list of arguments. Like, for example, if you call the function as, let's say I give values as, now if I have given values as 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now the values 1, 2, 3, and 4 are stored as a list in the function fun1. Let's see. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 are stored as arguments. Now, if you want to access a particular variable in the list of arguments that we have passed, we use indexing. Let's say I want the first variable, we use 0. See, it's 1. And if you want to have a last variable, let's say -1, it's 4. Okay, now you guys understand the meaning of star variable. If you have multiple values as arguments, we use star to represent all the values, and we access the values using indexing. Is it clear? Okay, next we go to keyword arguments. For example, if you have a function like is it okay now, my voice?
Yeah, it's clear, Ajay. Continue.
Yeah. For example, I have a function called full name. It has 2 arguments, first and last. Now, I want to add these 2 arguments and print it as See, now while declaring a values as arguments, we predefinedly declare the particular value to the particular argument as we take the argument followed with the value. And we take the second argument and followed with value. See, if you run the program, you get the combined form. If you want to print the values as individuals, it's like this. See, the value of j is stored in the variable first, and the value of it is stored in the variable last. And these two variables are passed as an arguments. For example, if you have multiple types of or multiple number of key value pairs in your arguments, for example, I have to print all the departments in the college. Let's say we write a function for that as DEPT of, we try to print all the departments. So we declare each department to a particular value as department 1 is equal to IT. And we take another argument as equal to, let's say, CSC. And let's say take another department. And the value would be EC. Now, if you want to store multiple key value pairs as an argument, we use double star as C. Now we define the function as def DEPT of, as I have mentioned, double star, let's say D. And now if you print the D, we get a dictionary. Let's see. So we have to define the function before initializing. So run it now. See, as you see, the arguments are passed as a key value pairs and they are stored in the form of a dictionary. If you want to access a particular variable in the dictionary D, we use the key as an argument. As if you want to access the variable of department 1, then we give an argument as DEPT1. Then the value would be IT. Let's check it. Just a second, guys. See, if you want to access a particular variable, we use a dictionary, right? And I have mentioned as the dictionary argument should be the key mentioned here. So I say, so I take single quotes. Now it prints the value as IT. See? So if you want to take multiple key value pairs as arguments, we just try to store them as dictionary and then access the values of the dictionary. Okay, is this concept clear? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, as I have told you, double star will receive a dictionary of arguments, and that arguments are taken as key value pairs and they are stored in the dictionary. So then we can access the values. And then we have an important statement called return. Yeah, that's a good point. Single star means represent list and double star represent dictionary. And we have an important statement called return, which is used to terminate the function. And as Ishwar has already explained about the return statement, let's move on to the next topic. And that is recursion. And how many of you know about recursion? Yes, recursion is a function calling itself again and again. And this process continues without a termination statement. And there are many advantages of recursion. We can reuse the executable code, and then memory complexity would be reduced. And there are many applications as well. And let's take an example to represent a recursion. And let's see what is recursion. For example, if you take, sorry. Yeah. For example, if you take a function def, let's take an integer. Let's take a variable n, and we will print the variable to the end of the variable. For example, if you take a variable as 10, then we print the 10 to last whole number as 0. Okay, using recursion. Then first we try to terminate the statement using return statement. And then we try to construct the remaining for using recursion. We can take return one as well. So let's print it. As you have mentioned, as you have seen, there will be 10, 9, 8, 7, and so on. Okay. When we using recursion REC function is called in the function itself. So this is an example of recursion, and there is a question. Yes, the only difference is mutable and immutable. Okay. Lastly, as the loop, as the function returns to n is equal to 0, that terminates as 0. If you print 1, if we can also take 1 and return 1. The loop ends at n is equal to 1. See? And this is an example of recursion. And let's take another example. Try to print factorial of a number n. The basic condition of the factorial is, can anyone tell it? Can anyone tell the basic condition of factorial? If n is less than or equal to 1. Good. And yeah. And now we return the value. Else we print the function repeatedly as n into fact of n minus 1. If you try to run the program, just call the function as step 5.
Ajay, use 10 plus.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. If you try to run the program, it is 120, sorry. Yeah, good. chat. Thank you for the suggestions. Yeah, I misplaced it. Yeah, this is an example of recursion. We don't see recursion in real time as they have as advantages of recursion. They do have disadvantages while using recursion. So we don't regularly see recursion in your day-to-day life, but it is an important concept to learn. Okay. Let's get to the next topic. And this is an important concept that is introduced in function in Python, especially called as lambda. To simplify the definition, a lambda is a function that is written in one line. A lambda is exactly as equal to a function, but the mainly disadvantage of lambda is it only carries of one line. Okay, as you have seen, the syntax of lambda is lambda, argument, and expression. That's it. There is nothing more than that. So let's take an example and let's see what a lambda is. As I have previously told you, the syntax of the lambda is lambda, which is a keyword, followed with argument, and then followed by expression. As there is a function, let's take an example. Let's say L is equal to lambda, which is a keyword. The function carries two arguments. Let's say A comma B. And then it returns the value A plus B. Now this is the function. This is a lambda function, which is stored in the variable L. Now we have to access the value or access the lambda function by using the variable that is stored. So we access the lambda function by using L as a function name and as an argument 2, 3. For example, if you take arguments as 2, 3, 4, let's say 4. Okay, now these 2 and 4 are taken as arguments as A and B, and the return value of the function is A plus B. Let's take an example. Let's see the result. See, the main function or main difference between a lambda and a function is the size of the code. See, let's execute the same program by using a function as def head of. We have two variables A comma B. Now we return A plus B. That's it, right? And then we call the function. Sorry, we have to print the value.
Ajay,
Function name is wrong, Ajay.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. See, the use of function add is similar to the use of lambda function L. Okay. That is the main difference between a function and a lambda function. But we cannot use long conversations or long operations by using lambda. So lambda will print output automatically. No, lambda will not print any output. While using lambda function, we try to return the value. See, as you seen, the right side of the column is an expression, which is the return type of the lambda function. For example, if you change the return type as A star B, it returns the product as C8. If you want to return only one variable, then just put a variable and then return the value. See, the expression itself says the return type of the lambda function. So the lambda function does not print anything, just it returns the value. Okay, is that clear? to everyone? Yeah, okay. And that's yeah, there is a question. Lambda will just return the function value. Yes, the lambda will not return the function value, but lambda will return the expression value. For example, as I have previously told you, let's say, let me explain once again.
Ajay, actually, it's my answer to juniors. It's not a question.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, only the expression value would be returned from the lambda function. Okay, and it is stored, and we call the lambda functions using L of. Okay, I hope that answers the question. Are there any more questions related to lambda or functions? Yeah, I think there are no more questions. I think Ishwar, can you continue from here? Can you take the session from
Yeah,
here?
Ajay, I will take this session.
Yeah, thank you.